Hi folks, welcome back to Booze with Nick, a full-length edition. I know it's been a very long time. You're probably surprised to see me here. I'm surprised to be back. The truth is, last winter, I lost faith in the ongoing project that is Booze with Nick. It's easy as a YouTuber, especially a more small-time one, to get a little bit discouraged sometimes with the video getting, 5 views over the course of a month or something like that. And, there was some other stuff going on in my life and just kind of lost my focus on the channel and actually lost all interest in doing it. But I've been really heartened to see that in those months where I've been, not performing, on the channel, that people have still been watching, and I've even picked up some subscribers. And that's really pretty cool. So I thought, what the heck? I'm feeling it. There is good booze out there in the world, and I need to talk about it. Today, I am talking, in fact, about one of my favorite boozes of the world, Old Forrester 100. 100's the key there, folks. We'll touch on that. Old Forrester is one of the Brown-Forman stable of whiskeys. It is, by its own admission, the oldest bottled bourbon in the United States. I don't see any reason to doubt them on that. Apparently, bourbon was just sold straight from the barrel before, which actually doesn't sound that bad to me. Anyways, George Garvin Brown decided to innovate a glass bottle for his bourbon, and Old Forester was born as a brand. It has a bunch of it's a broad product line. They have their 1910, their 1920, their 1870, their Statesman, and then others that I'm probably not even up on right now. The 1910 is fantastic, and maybe I'll do a review of that if I get a bottle in the house this summer. It really is one of my favorite upper end bourbons. Regular Old Forester 100, I'm going to show you the bottle again, is one of that mid-shelf range of whiskeys that are near and dear to my heart. You don't have to pay 50, 60, 80, God knows how much, per bottle to get a nice whiskey. In my neck of the woods here in the northwestern US, Old Forester retails for 22 to 23-ish, somewhere in there. And it's a heck of a bargain at that price. It occupies that beloved mid-shelf range alongside, maybe Beam Black, Woodford Reserves at the upper end of that mid-shelf. If we're not looking strictly at bourbons, then of course the Dickel 12 that I love so much, plain old Jack Daniels. There's a lot of just good stuff in that mid-shelf range. Old Forester is an absolute go-to for me, though, and was one of the first bourbons that I actually started to really enjoy as I was getting into bourbon 4 or 5 years ago. It's not a super complex bourbon. And of course, I don't think that bourbon should be necessarily a complex spirit. It is, at the end of the day, a late 18th century, early 19th century American frontier expression of whiskey, right? Sometimes I like to go to the websites of the distillers just to see what they put down for tasting notes, and sometimes it's just batshit crazy, it's just stupid. In this case, though, Brown-Forman actually has really good tasting notes on their website, so I'm going to start there. Strong, sweet coffee. Yeah, I'm reading. Strong, sweet coffee, laced with chocolate, creamy butterscotch, and a hint of licorice. All that is there. I'm not sure the coffee is strong. It might just be coffee with some butterscotch syrup mixed into it. There's definitely a creamy note. There's definitely a subdued, not super bitter, but just a subdued, more of a hot chocolate kind of, I always want to say cocoa. What's wrong with me? Cocoa flavor. I'm not getting the licorice on the nose. Maybe something hanging out in the background there that could pass as an anise note. I'm not too sure about that. But overall, their notes for the nose, or the aroma, as they put it, are pretty right on. The taste. Apple pie, folks. Apple pie. They say ripe apple. I can go with that. Perhaps even lightly cooked apple. Definitely spice, the baking spice notes that are so common in so many bourbons. They say clove and nutmeg. I would add a cinnamon note to that as well. It's a little bit like a cinnamon bear note for those of you who grew up in the 80s and remember eating those ridiculously spicy bear-shaped little wads of corn syrup that passed for candy back then. And a little bit of oak, very light oak, which of course to me is a plus. So many otherwise wonderful whiskeys and wines are ruined by excessive contact with wood. Not the case here, folks. Definitely get a little bit fuller body from the 100 proof. Again, not a heavy whiskey by any means, but not watery. We're not drinking, Jameson's here where you wonder if there's any alcohol in it. This is substantial, but still light on the tongue. Very nice. If you were going to fault this whiskey in any way, and for the price, I don't know why you would bother, but say you were, I don't know, someone who was a whiskey critic or had a YouTube channel where they nitpicked alcohol or something, you might say that the finish is a little bit faint here. I don't personally mind a short finish on a whiskey, but this one doesn't really linger. A little bit of that apple with a little bit of light wood lingering there. But yeah, not a super strong finish. Anyways, there's only so much one can say about Old Forrester, and I'm going on at 7.5 minutes here. I think you folks get the idea here. If you're looking for a really good mid-shelf option that is good enough to drink neat, that is absolutely wonderful over a small piece of ice, and that would even be a very viable option in soda, thanks to that 100 proof mark, then Old Forester 100 is a seriously great way to go. For those of you who have made it all the way to the 8-minute mark, thank you very much for your time, your attention, your interest, and I'm thinking I'm going to be getting back into the channel going into the spring here, looking at bourbons, maybe looking at some exotic things like tequilas as the weather warms up here a little bit. So stay tuned. It's going to get exciting in a Booze with Nick kind of subdued way. Oh, I almost forgot. Drink well, live well, be well.